Updates back today. I'm going to be going over part 3, and I believe this is my final part of the tier ranking. Sorry, new Galaxy Opals are not going to be in this. These are the old ones, so I apologize. I might need to do another video just dedicated on the new ones. And yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the video. And these cards are not going to be gone in depth as part 1 and 2. Mostly part 1 and 2. Link will be down in the description. And yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the video. So, first up, Kevin Durant. I love this card. S tier. I love his animations. I love his jump shot. Basically, his perfect stats. I just really love Kevin Durant. And yeah, even though I like the point guard shooting on one better, I still really do love this small forward, power forward Kevin Durant. Next up, Sean Kemp. I really love Sean Kemp. He's an A+ tier. I don't like his jump shot as much, but he basically does everything else. And whenever I am on with his jump shot, he does green a lot, and that's what I really like about him. And yeah, there is a bit of a hitch in the jump shot, but I don't think that's such a big deal because 2K fixed it, and that's why he's an A+ tier. Next up, Demar Derozan, and I'm gonna do 2 players at the same time. Demar Derozan and Paul George, they're both gonna go in A+ and S tier. Paul George has some of the best animations in the game, some of the best drill moves in the game, and just one of my favorite cards in the game in general. And DeMar DeRozan is basically Tracy McGrady. And Tracy McGrady's in S tier, so I have to put DeMar DeRozan in S tier. Actually, he's basically Tracy McGrady with better drill moves, and Paul George is a slightly worse Tracy McGrady, but he's a bit taller, and he could do just a tad bit less, so he's kind of like one of the best cones in the game, but yeah. Anyways, he's really, really good. Sorry about that. Next up, Larry Bird, Larry Legend, S tier. Really love his animations. This will be Opal Larry. Actually, I don't know if I already put Opal Larry Bird in here. Actually, I did. Actually, I'm gonna switch it. Larry Bird's gonna go on B+ tier. I like the Opal better because just more badges and stats. This one's still good, but the reason why he's in B+ tier is because he's a bit outdated. He came out really early, and there's just better cards like the Opal himself, which is for free, and this one actually costs something. So yeah, this is also a card not worth it because the Opal's free. Next up, Antoine Jameson. S tier, main reason base 11. I really do love that release. Some really good post moves. He's a small forward. He could back down the opposing small forward. Really, really good rebounder. And yeah, I just really, really love this Antoine Jameson. And coming back in S tier is Andre Kirilenko. Andre Kirilenko, Antoine Jameson. Actually, I'm going to put in the other guy. I don't know if he's on this list. And Lamar Odom. They're all basically the same card. They all basically do everything. I love all 3 of these cards. They're really good slashers, they're really good shooters, they're really good at everything. They can create their own shot. And all 3 of these guys, there's nothing, like, their releases are a tad bit different in base 11, but I still really love all 3 of these guys. 100% recommend getting them because I believe Andre Kirilenko is free for the mystery packs, and Lamar Odom isn't that expensive, so yeah. But it's all personal preference. I don't recommend getting all 3 unless you have unlimited MT. I recommend getting one of them, and I recommend getting Andre Kirilenko. Or Lamar Odom. I really do love Lamar Odom. Next up is Magic Johnson. This Magic Johnson is going to go in A tier. I do really like this Magic Johnson, but you need to evo him in order for him to be, like, usable, because he only has gold range. And actually, no, let me take that back. He goes in A+ tier. You need to evo him in order to get Hall of Fame range, and anyone that doesn't have range will not be in S tier. They'll be in A+ tier. Magic Johnson, he's really, really good. I recommend getting this one instead of the other one, but I still really like the other one better. And yeah, next up, Allen Iverson. This Allen Iverson is a god. I love his drill moves. I love his sigs. I love his jump shot. I love everything about this card. As I keep on saying, these are going to be quick reviews. Not basically 95 everything. And yeah, the only problem is he's short, but just because he's short doesn't mean you can't still play. And Allen Iverson could really play. Just like Dwayne Wade, he's an S tier. Next up, Brandon Roy, sorry. He's gonna go in B tier. Reason why is because he's a bit outdated. He doesn't have unpluckable, and yeah, he's still a really good card, but it's just he's really outdated. He came out like near November, December, and the cards that come out during that time are not gonna be any higher unless you're Ray Allen. And yeah, that's why he's gonna be in B tier, but he's still a really good card. If you have him and you don't have any other better person, you can still use him. He'll be fine. Next up, another dual, like two people at the same time. Michael Jordan and J.R. Smith. They're both gonna be an A plus. No, one Michael Jordan's gonna be an A tier, only because he can't shoot as good as the other one, and he can play small forward, not point guard. Even though he's still some of the best defensive animation in the game. And J.R. Smith is gonna go next year. This card is ridiculous. He is a fantastic release. He's basically fantastic at everything. J.R. Smith is a god this year. He was way better than he was last year. And yeah, so if you have J.R. Smith, I recommend using him because this guy could cook like Kyrie. Like this guy could really, really cook. He's not as bad as the diamond dribbling wise, if only you guys know that. And on Michael Jordan, really good defensively, but just can't really do that much offensively. And yeah, so I put him in A tier because he's like a fantastic defender. Next up, Jason Tatum and Jimmy Butler. Both are going in S tier. Both are really, really good at creating their own shot. People don't like creating their shot with Jimmy Butler. I personally love it. And yeah, Jimmy Butler and Jason Tatum. If you have both of them, I recommend running Jimmy Butler as a shooting guard and Jason Tatum as a small forward. Only for the reason that Jason Tatum does better at the small forward. He'll excel more. And Jimmy Butler could just clamp up their opposing shooting guard. While Jason Tatum isn't that good at shooting guard, he's more used as a small forward, which is what I personally recommend. And yeah, that's why they're both in S tier, because they're both some of the best, like, create your own shot cards in the game. And Jason Tatum is base model 7. Next up is going to be a very interesting card. And you guys are going to wonder why, but this is going to be Vince Carter. This is going to be Opal Vince Carter, like the pink diamond one that has an Evo. This card itself will probably go in B plus tier, but the Opal one, like the better Opal one with Hall of Fame Quick Draw, will go in S tier. His release is really, really good. I love his stats, I love his animations, and yeah. This card in general will go in B plus tier, but the pink diamond Evo will go in S tier. Reason why this card in general will go in B plus tier is because this card only has gold quick draw and is a bit outdated. And I'm going to move Michael Jordan back down to tier because I don't think he has Hall of Fame quick draw. Next up, Lonzo Ball. And actually, Victor Oladipo is going to go in S tier. Really, really do love this card. He's a butter release. He's basically those Russell Westbrook type guys, except he's really, really good. And yeah, and I'm also going to put Ja Morant in S tier too because he's like, actually, I should put Ja Morant, like, everything I say about Victor Oladipo is about Ja Morant. Both really, really good slashers. They both shoot really well. And they both basically do everything. Like they're the ideal 6'3" slashing non-tall point guards. And yeah, these guys are really good. I'm gonna move Victor Oladipo actually down a tier because I think Ja Morant's a bit better. And Victor Oladipo doesn't deserve to be in S tier. And yeah, next up, Trae Young. I really, really hate this card. C tier. He can't really defend for me. He can't really shoot for me. He can't really do anything for me. Base 107 is better suited on Jason Tatum than Trae Young, but yeah, he still is an okay card, but I just really don't like Trae Young. Next up, Oscar Robertson and Alex Caruso. Nope, never mind, Pascal Siakam, sorry. S tier, I really, really love Pascal Siakam. Really good dribble moves. Basically, as I say for every other card, if he's in S tier, I shouldn't even need to say anything. Basically at 95 plus everything. He could shoot, he could do everything. And there's nothing wrong with this card. This card is like one of the top tier cones, but he can also create his own shot, if you know what I mean. And Alex Caruso, this card is going to go in A plus tier. I really, really love his animations. He's like the Victor Oladipo. These two are basically the same cards. They slash, they dunk, they basically do everything except they're a bit too small. And yeah, next up, Danny Granger. Most people are gonna hate me for this, but with their duo with Paul George going in S tier, I really do love his release. He's a better defender than most people, and even though his stats are underwhelming, he does play really well in game, especially with that base 11, which I still really love this year. Next up, Karl Anthony Towns and Hakeem Olajuwon. Both gonna go in S tier. Both are top tier centers. Both could basically do everything. And yeah, basically, the only problem with these two centers is they're a bit slow, but their speed hasn't really affected me much in games. So yeah, I really do love both of these cards. So if you guys have them, I should recommend using them if you don't have like a GOAT Kareem or something like that. And yeah, that's what I recommend. Karl Anthony Towns and Hakeem Olajuwon in S tier. Next up, Taco Fall, and actually no, I'm gonna do Peja Stojakovic and Oscar Robinson. Oscar Robinson is gonna be an A+ tier. He's really really good. It's just there's one thing keeping him off like the elite level. Like I like Iverson. No, he's really good. He's on the lower end of S tier. He could basically do everything. He has really good release. He's really tall, and yeah. So if you locked in for Kevin Garnett, which I highly recommend you do, I recommend using Oscar Robinson because he's really really underrated gem. And this Taco Fall, nothing I need to say about this guy. 7'7" giant with the Evo Hall of Fame range extender, good release. There's nothing I need to say. Basically, every card I put in S tier is perfect, every single way. And yeah, that's why Taco Fall is going to be in S tier. Kawhi Leonard. Where's Kawhi Leonard? Oh, here you are. Nothing I need to explain. He can play shooting guard, some of the best defensive animations in the game. Basically the better pink diamond, and that pink diamond will also be an A+ tier, but this one's a bit better. And yeah, really good defensive animations. I love his release, and I just love everything about this guy. Kawhi Leonard is a definite S tier. Next up, James Worthy, who's actually he was the other guy I was talking about. He's basically an Andre Kirilenko. He's basically one of those types of cards. I'm gonna put him next to them actually. Out of these four cards, it's personal preference. Which one you like better, which one you don't like is the one you don't use. And yeah, they're basically all the same card. They basically all have base 11. They basically all have the same animations. And yeah, sorry this video seems rushed as I keep on saying. And I might need to make a part 4 to this, which I do not want to make. And yeah, so I'm sorry again. And yeah, in 4 minutes, I need to make a part 4. I'm not gonna really like doing this, but later today there will be a part 4, and there will be another video out about the NBA news and about Two Bros Gaming, what happened with him, and yeah, with that out of the way. Next up, Derrick Rose. This card, spectacular. Really love this card. This card is basically a better John Morant, and they're all basically the same card. John Morant, Victor Oladipo, and Derrick Rose, they're all the same card. They could all slash, they could all do everything, but the only problem with all three of them is they're all small. But Derrick Rose does stuff a bit better than Victor Oladipo and Alex Caruso, which is why he's an S tier and these two are an A+ tier. Next up, James Harden. Oh, and Gilbert Arenas is not in this tier list. I just realized that. He'll be an S tier. I really love his release. And he's a small, even and like the Derrick Rose of the world. And yeah, James Harden will go an A+ tier. He's basically a worse Alex Caruso, I believe. I don't really like his release. It's a bit too slow. And yeah, I really do like everything else about him, but his release just keeps him off S tier. And yeah. Next up, Peja Stojakovic. Just basically like a better Klay Thompson. And they're both going to go in S tier. Basically that ideal cone, except they're really, really good at what they do. They can shoot the lights out. They can basically do everything. And yeah, nothing really to say about them. Next up, Julius Erving, B tier, a bit outdated. Came out in like January. I don't recommend using him right now. So many better options. And yeah, Julius Erving is just not that good. Some people swear by him. I don't. I really hate this card. And when he came out, I didn't like him, and now I don't like him, even with the upgrades. Next up, Gary Payton. He's going S tier. I really love his defensive animation with the 95 on-ball steal tendency. His release is way better than it was in his Pink Diamond, even though the Pink Diamond would have gone 8 tier. And yeah, Gary Payton is a really good defensive card, and now, with all the changes, he's a really good offensive card. Next up, Joel Embiid and Christos Porzingis. They're basically both the same card. Christos is way better with the Evo. Joel Embiid doesn't need the Evo, but they're still both good, even if they didn't have any Evos. 7-foot tall center that can play power forward, and Christos, who is a really good defender, unless he's playing on the perimeter, and he's really good at playing in the post and shooting. Joel Embiid is basically the same thing. He's just the worst Hakeem Olajuwon. Joel Embiid is. These two are basically the same card. And yeah, I really do love Joel Embiid's post animations as well, and Christos Porzingis' shooting. Next up, Mitch Richmond. Nothing much to say. He's basically a better Klay Thompson, and he's a worse Peja Stojakovic. Klay Thompson's actually going to move down to now. Klay Thompson's in S tier. Peja Stojakovic, Mitch Richmond, and Klay Thompson, they're all basically the same card. They can shoot the lights out, and they really have really good dribble animations. That's the reason why I'm putting them in S tier. They could just do something that the cards below them can't. Next up, George Gervin and Michael Porter Jr. Both of them are gods. They're like George Gervin is a worse James Worthy, and Michael Porter Jr. is a better James Worthy, if you know what I mean. They really love both these guys' animations. The difference is Gervin could play shooting guard, and Michael Porter Jr. could only play small forward. Yeah, I really love George Gervin's layup animations. They're really good for me. Whenever I use them, I feel like I'm like above everyone else. And yeah, George Gervin is gonna be in S tier. Next up, Blake Griffin. I hate this card. I'm sorry. You guys are gonna call me crazy. I really do hate this card. I don't like his animations. He's a bit too small for me. Yeah, really outdated too. He came out really early in the year, and I just don't like him for some reason. And yeah, a lot of people put him in S tier. I'm gonna put him in C tier. Next up, Bull and Chris Webber. Chris Webber will go in A+ tier. He's a bit too small, which is keeping him off S tier. And Bull will go in S tier, who is basically just like a better Chris Webber, if you know what I mean. They both basically do the same thing, except Bull needs an Evo to make him better, which is tempting me to put him in A+ tier, but I'm still going to put him in S tier. And yeah, Bull is also taller, and he's a bit... And the one thing that keeps him off is his strength, but the Evo helps with that. And Chris Webber is basically he's a good Bull, but the problem is his size, which is the only reason why he's in A+ tier, as I said. And yeah. Next up is Clydraxor. I really love Clydraxor, only because, you know, his stats are better, he doesn't have steady shooter, and yeah, I really do love Clydraxor, but I'm only going to put him in B+ tier because he's a bit outdated at this stage in the game, and his release isn't the best, and yeah. Next up, Josh Smith and Draymond Green. Josh Smith is an S tier, basically could do everything. I really do love him. His animations are good, and his player body, or his player build is really good. And yeah, Draymond Green is going to go in C+ tier. I hate this card. I hate him in real life and in 2K. Like, nothing wrong with him, but I just don't like him because of, I like LeBron a bit better, but, Draymond Green, my bias doesn't have anything to do with this card. I just don't like him. His release isn't the best for me. He's a bit too small. And he can't cook like Kyrie. And he's like basically a cone. He can't do much. And yeah, and he can only play point guard. He can't play any other position. Power forward is too bad for him because of his height. Finally, Lonzo Ball. He's going to go in A+ tier. Really do love him. Actually, not going in A tier. He's basically a better Jason Kidd, except because his release is a tad bit better. He has Dominique Wilkins' release, Clydraxor release too. And I like that release, but I don't like it with steady shooter, which is why Dominique is in C+ tier. But I really do like it. So that's why Lonzo's in A tier. but his release isn't elite, but it isn't bad, if you know what I mean. And finally, Luca Dauntage. He's gonna go in S tier. I love his dribble moves. I love his release. And I just love everything about him. And yeah, that's gonna be my tier list. This video might be a bit rushed. I apologize for that. I just wanted to say, give me more opinions. Give me more suggestions in the comment section on what I should do. More videos gonna be coming out later today. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. NBA is starting if you've come to the end of this video. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and hope you guys see my video later. And yeah, have a good rest of your day.